And the opening ceremony has taken place some minutes ago, and right now we want to focus on the opening fixture for the Qatar 2022 World Cup. It's been 12 years in the making, right? And finally we're here for the action proper. This remains the nation's number one station, News Talk and Sports, 99.3 Nigeria Info. And alongside our partners, the BBC, who have commentators in Qatar, we will stay here in the studio to bring to you all of the drama as it unfolds for sure. Well, let's get into the thick of the action, shall we? My name is Chuma Noli, and I'm here alongside Daisy and Michael. In the way to hear her voice, it's time to get into the football mood. Excited to know that we are alive to see a day like this. Today we witness history, an unraveling of what some see as a mystery, and the quest for ultimate victory. A World Cup in an Arab nation for the first time ever. 12 years after the hosting rights were awarded in 2010, the anticipation finally turns to participation. It is a battle for the biggest prize in the world's most popular sport. 32 teams begin the hunt for glory, but only one will survive to tell the full story. Welcome to Qatar 2022, the 22nd FIFA World Cup. A tournament like no other, taking place in the months of November and December, the middle of the European club football season for the first time in our lifetime. A competition that offers limitless possibilities, huge expectations, spectacular drama, and its own fair share of controversies. It is something that all begins today in Group A at the Al Bayt Stadium as the host nation Qatar take on Ecuador in the opening fixture of what will be 64 games on a 29-day ride. Qatar making their debut in the Mundial with high hopes from home fans, despite being the lowest ranked team in Group A at number 50. The wealthy Arab nation coming to this game having won 4 of their last 5 preparatory matches for the showpiece event, with successes over Guatemala, Honduras, Panama and Albania under their belts. None of these sides though offer as much quality as their opponents tonight in Ecuador. The South American nation finished ahead of heavyweights like Chile and Colombia in booking a ticket to the global fiesta. Ecuador, however, struggled to score goals in recent times, recording only 2 in the last 6 games after ending the qualifying series. Both goals coming against African sides in Nigeria and Cape Verde. Such poor run of scoring can offer even more belief for the host Qatar in their desire to become the first debutants to win an opening World Cup game since Senegal in 2002. I'm glad to have you join us for our all-encompassing coverage of the unfolding drama here on Nigeria Info. My name is Chuma Noli, describing the action alongside Daisy and Michael and our partners, the BBC. Good evening to you, Daisy, and I'm just wondering what's going through your mind on a massive day as this one as to the opening game of the World Cup.
Yeah, Chuma, good evening to you. Good evening, Lagos, and our listeners beyond. It's a big Mundial, in as much as some of us are still trying to grapple and grasp the moment, the fever it comes with. The World Cup has officially, is about to kick off in the next couple of minutes, and we're excited for it. The curtain raiser. It's a big matchup. The host country, Qatar, actually under huge pressure. There's been a lot of talks about their preparations. Secrecy, isolations have been the name of the game. They played 4 games. As to other countries, about 2. They've been playing a lot of games since September. Most of them without cameras. Questions have been asked about their integrity and a lot of stuff. But I think the pressure is on them. They look well on the cooks, given the fact that the Qatari league itself, where most of the players they apply their trade, have been on pause since September. But here they are in November, looking to strut their stuff. Well on the cooks, like I said, but they've got really good players to watch out for. Afif, the former BRL player, made that switch back in 2016. The first ever player born in Qatar to play in the La Liga, but that marriage didn't work out. But here they are today with a lot of inspiration, a lot of motivation, a lot of determination, a lot of focus and drive to start off their campaign in a flying start in front of their own home fans. They didn't qualify for this tournament back in 2018, but here they are, automatically qualified because of their hosting right. But it's going to be a big matchup, and we're all excited to be here today to actually start the preparations.
Well, I am very excited, just like yourself, Daisy and Michael. But for now, we need to pause for the anthems of the 2 nations. First off will be that of the visitors, Ecuador, who come into this fixture playing in their 4th World Cup. After that, you hear from the host nation, Qatar.
This FIFA World Cup, a tournament, this peace and unity will be the one that brings the world together after some difficult times. And let me repeat it clearly. Everyone will be welcome to the tournament, regardless of their origin, background, religion, gender, sexual orientation, or nationality.
Listening to those anthems, I'm sure you're already feeling the excitement in the air. First off was that of Ecuador, and the host nation, Qatar, came through next up. Now we can get into the starting lineup for the 2 teams in this history, although I say historic fixture, as the line should be a history-making fixture, depending on the context you want. We do have some 11 players representing the home nation on the field of play right now. The goalkeeper of the side being Saad Abdullah Al-Shib. He has Bulem Koki, Basham Hisham Arawi, and Abdel Karim Hassan in that three-man back line. Just about four players ahead of that back three in Pedro Miguel, Karim Boudial, Abdulaziz Hatem, and also Homan Ahmed. And two more men are supporting the point man on the evening. Almuz Ali is that point man. He's on 41 goals for his national team and a couple of goals away from holding the record outrightly as the highest scoring Qatari in international football. And he has the support of Hassan Al-Haydous and of course also Akram Atif. Al-Haydous is the captain of this side, the most capped player from his country. He's amassed over 160 caps playing for the Qatari setup. And they are up against a very solid side from Ecuador who come in here with confidence and brilliance. The center referee, by the way, for this is a man with huge experience, Daniel Osato. He's an Italian. At the age of 46, he became a FIFA official 12 years ago in 2010. He was actually a video assistant referee in the World Cup in Russia 4 years ago, and was the one who was saddled with the responsibility of taking charge as referee for the UEFA Champions League final in 2020. That game that had to do with PSG and Bayern, a fixture that Bayern won to emerge as club champions of the European continent. Well, Ecuador do have confidence on their side, more experience compared to this Qatari setup as they come in here playing in their fourth World Cup. The only time they have gone beyond the group stages still was in 2006. And guess what? That very time they were in the same group with the host of the World Cup, Germany. They lost to the German side by 3-0, but went on to amass 6 points to progress alongside the host into the knockout round. So this could be some good omen playing against the host now in the same group in the World Cup in 2022. Well, they have Galindez, Estupinan, Torres, Angelo, Preciado, Encapo, Ibarra, Mendes, Plata, Saicedo, Estrada, and the starman Ena Valencia, who's the record goal scorer for his country, Ecuador. He's appearing in his second World Cup. The last one was in 2014, and that was the first one also for him. And he's got 3 goals in that competition, so experience is still scoring in the Global Mondial. As the action officially gets underway, it is the Ecuadorian side who come in here with so much belief on their side in a quest to achieve a successful ride filled with pride. They have the all red out fit Qatar now, playing from left to right, the home nation. And it's Ecuador who have the all yellow attire on the evening. They are the ones who are playing from right to left, attacking towards the left hand side. There's a Michael in a bit to have our partners, the BBC, take over with commentary duties live from Qatar. But between now and then, I and you can postulate and talk about what we should expect from this fixture. It's not the biggest of opening games in the World Cup, but hey, everyone is still having to catch the fever because this is a competition that takes place once every 4 years.
Yeah, the curtain raiser is not an eye-catching fixture. But then the host side, talking about Qatar and Ecuador, the South American side, they have the youngest squad in this tournament with average age of about 23. Really young players. You've called the Brighton's Moses Caicedo. We've also talked about Estopinian, really creative winger. But I think basically Qatar, their football can really be pleasing to watch. The coach has been with them since 2017. There's been so much talk about them winning the Asian Cup in 2019. But the Gold Cup and of course the other tournament they went into didn't really live up to billing, but here they are once again. They've had about 2 months to prepare for this tournament. They're playing in front of their own home fans. I expect a good game, but defensively Qatar actually are a good side, but can be porous, when sides pin them back, with all of those sequence of wave and wave of attack. But Ecuador, in terms of experience and pedigree, look to me like a side that should get something out of this matchup. For all of the players they've got in their ranks, we mentioned all of the Brighton players and all that. But the issue with Ecuador will have to be their profligacy in front of goal. They've drawn a lot of games under their coach Sanchez.
We have a kick right now, Ecuador. Just to remind you, they're playing from right to left. Ready to say hello with the color yellow, which is actually what they have on in this game. Have a terrible goal scoring record, like Adeze said. 2 goals only scored in their last 6 games. However, they've kept a clean sheet in all of those games, which is a record for them. And they could have a chance to score the opening goal in the World Cup in 2022. It is a goal in the biggest stage. A man who keeps writing his name on every newspaper's page. His name will be spoken about in every village because he has stepped up with a privilege for his side. He's caught the opening goal of the World Cup in Qatar in 2022. And he's become the record goal scorer for his country in the global fiesta. He's 4th in the Mundial. He's Enner Valencia. 3 goals in Brazil 2014, and it took him just about 3 minutes to score his first in Qatar 2022. The World Cup is up and running, and it's Ecuador leading. It's Qatar 0, Ecuador 1, I should say. The excitement getting to me for sure, and the magic coming through from the man, Enner Valencia.
Absolutely true, Matt. There's a reason why they're the best South American team when it comes to set piece. Ecuador once again clustering bodies in the technical area, and that got back from that man Felix Torres allowed Enner Valencia, gave him that opportunity to direct his header perfectly towards the goal area. And what a way to concede an early goal in front of your own home fans. Qatar should be disappointed with that. They should have known that Ecuador are really good when it comes to the set piece. But advantage on the side of Ecuador once again. And look at that finish. Instinctive finish for Enner Valencia. Didn't mind all of the bodies around him, but he was able to carve out space for himself. Just got the header perfectly straight into the bottom corner. There was no how the goalkeeper was going to get that. He was left stranded. Our ship of the Qatar side.
Oh, having a VAR check, and that's why there's some pause in play now. The center referee, Daniel Osato, having to confirm from the VAR team if that goal will stand or not. But what a way to start proceedings in the Qatar 2022 World Cup. And a moment of magic. A moment, though, that this side will certainly talk about for years to come. Whether it stands or not, as we watch again to get confirmations from the center referee, the man from Italy. A European taking charge of a game involving an Asian side against a South American side. There's the whole talk about potentially a foul on the goalkeeper for Qatar, Saad Al-Shib, just before Valencia had that chance to convert what he saw as the opening goal of the World Cup. But the goal has been chopped off. It doesn't count. I'll have to take my words back. It's the first time we're having this experience where players have to get used to the reality of thinking twice when they score these goals in the World Cup as this one on the opening day of the competition in Qatar in 2022. So 6 minutes played, still Qatar nil, Ecuador nil. And that goal has been chopped off by the VAR team. And in just about 4 minutes time, we'll go back to our partners at the BBC for live coverage from Qatar for you. But that happy moment for Ecuador has been thrown out of the window.
I've been silent, Chuma, just trying to wrap my head around why the goal should be disallowed. The goalkeeper came off his lines to actually get the ball. Abdullah El Sahib, he was beaten, he couldn't get the ball, and then he went back to cover his ground that he left, and then that man Felix Torres got that cut back header, and then Valencia was at the right place at the right time. There was no foul there. True, man. I'm just trying to wrap my head around why that goal should be chalked off. Probably someone should help me. I don't think that goal should have been cancelled. I think it's a proper goal.
Well, again, just watching the replay of that and trying to understand where the VAR team would have come from with Saad Al-Shib, the goalkeeper for Qatar, stepping forward to catch the ball and then having a clash between himself and an Ecuadorian player, and certainly lost control of the ball, which put it towards the path of Enner Valencia, the man who's netted 35 times for his country, a record goal scorer for Ecuador, as Rashidi Yekini is to Nigeria. Enner Valencia is to the South American nation, who were quite a high scoring side in the qualifying series for the World Cup from South America. Only Brazil scored more goals than them. They got a chance to put the ball into the back of the net 27 times, the same number of times like Argentina. But after that qualifying series in friendly games, they found a way to lose their goal-scoring boots. Perhaps they can find it again in this competitive fixture on the grandest of stages, in front of not just the tens of thousands of fans who have converged at the Al Bayt Stadium, but also the millions around the world who are watching this much talked about Qatar competition. More of the conversations in the last set of days have been negative, especially coming through from the European media as to human rights issues in the country Qatar. But the president of FIFA, Gianni Infantino, yesterday came through with some scathing remarks, talking about the fact that Europe have to do more of apologizing for their sins of the last 3,000 years, according to him, than having to scrutinize what other countries like Qatar are doing at the moment. It's going to be those interchange of passes from this Ecuadorian side, who have been the better of the two bunch in the first 9 minutes of this game. And now Valencia, Captain Fantastica, this guy. He's been everywhere. Beyond scoring that goal that was chopped up, we're seeing a bit more of him as to his prowess with that jersey number 13. And now there's a chance for goalkeeper Assad to come forward, and what he does is just punches the ball out and gives Qatar a bit of a chance to catch their breath.
That defense, Chuma, is practically looking like a picture of panic at the moment. Bassam Arawi, Kuki and Abdul Karim Hassan, all of them look to me like they've got deficiency in terms of positioning themselves in the right place. They keep exposing the goalkeeper. He's not really comfortable with their positioning. Time and time he's come off his lines to clear the danger. But Ecuador looks to me that they've got a goal in the next 5 to 10 minutes in this matchup.
Well, at least they have a free kick right now, and it's again the man you know about, whose name I've mentioned a few times already, Enna Valencia, captain on the side, who gets that free kick for his country. Keep your thoughts coming through, by the way, through Twitter at Nigeria Info FM. That's the handle at Nigeria Info FM. Share with us your predictions and expectations as to this game. Also, there's the WhatsApp portal. On Twitter, by the way, you can use the hashtag FATG Qatar 2022. So it's going to be easier for us to surf through your comments as Ecuador take that free kick from the left-hand side of play, but it comes to nothing really. They still do have possession, which is good news for them. Just to remind you one more time on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM using the hashtag at FATG Qatar 2022. Drop your comments also via WhatsApp. We'll be back to take them as we progress with proceedings for the first 45 minutes of action. It's the coverage of the World Cup Qatar 2022. Live on the nation's #1 station for news, talk and sports, 99.3 Nigeria Info. And it's time to go back to Qatar now with our partners, the BBC, for more of the action tonight.
The minute's gone.
Got a big problem with Qatar. They cannot get out of their own half. They're not getting any good ball in midfield. They're not holding it because they've got a back five. They've been completely outnumbered in midfield there. They've been passed off the pitch. Their balls getting put in